So, beyond the theology, how do law and grace actually function differently inside a real person's real life? Here are 5 contrasts, and be honest with yourself as we go through them, because by the end of this section, you'll know exactly which one has been running your life. Number 1, what gives you standing before God? Under the law, your obedience earns God's acceptance. You perform well, God is pleased. You fail, He's not. The relationship depends entirely on your output. You are only as secure as your last spiritual report card. Under grace, God's acceptance produces your obedience. The relationship comes first. The transformation follows. You don't work toward acceptance, you work from it. Here's what that looks like in real life. The law-driven Christian wakes up after a bad week and thinks, I need to get myself right before I can really come to God. The grace-driven Christian wakes up after the same bad week and thinks, I need God, and I can go to Him. Right now, exactly like this. Same bad week, completely different door. Number 2, what happens when you fail? Under the law, failure brings condemnation. Every sin is a setback in your standing. Every moral stumble pushes you further from God. You spend the next 3 days trying to spiritually earn your way back to where you were before you messed up. Under grace, failure brings conviction, and conviction is different from condemnation. Condemnation says, God is done with you. Conviction says, this isn't who you are anymore. Come back. Romans 8:1 doesn't leave room for ambiguity. There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Not less condemnation. Not condemnation once you've recovered sufficiently. None. Condemnation closes the door. Conviction leads you back through it. Number 3, how you read the Old Testament. Through a law lens, it's a checklist. A catalog of commands to complete, standards to meet, and failures to avoid. You read Leviticus and feel buried. You read the Psalms and quietly audit whether you actually qualify for the promises. Through a grace lens, it's a story. One long building narrative pointing forward to Christ. The sacrificial system isn't a burden, it's a preview. The Passover lamb isn't just ancient history, it's a foreshadow. Every priest, every altar, every offering whispering the same thing across centuries. Something greater is coming. Same text. Completely different destination. Number 4, what motivates holy living? Under the law, fear. Fear of punishment. Fear of falling short. Fear of what happens if you stop trying hard enough. You read about consequences and immediately try harder for a week. You hear a convicting sermon and white-knuckle your behavior until the feeling fades. Under grace, love. You live differently because you've been changed, not threatened, because you know what was paid for you, and that knowledge produces something fear never could. Genuine, lasting, inside-out transformation. Here's the honest difference. Both might produce similar behavior on the surface on a good day, but law-driven obedience runs on pressure, and pressure eventually runs out. Grace-driven obedience runs on gratitude, and gratitude deepens over time. One exhausts you, the other sustains you. Number 5, what it produces in you long-term. The law produces a cycle most Christians know intimately but couldn't name until right now. When you're succeeding spiritually, pride. I've been consistent. I've been faithful. God must really be pleased with me right now. When you're failing, despair. I'll never be enough. I keep falling back into the same things. What's the point? Pride, despair, pride, despair. It's exhausting, and it never resolves. Grace produces something the law never could. Steady humility. Not because you're always failing, but because you never forget where you actually stand. You're not riding the wave of your performance. You're anchored to something that doesn't move when you do.